Hey, everybody, it's Josh Ellsworth, and welcome to the Heat Press for Profit podcast, where we broadcast live every week on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, our YouTube channel, et cetera, et cetera. Many of you are probably listening to this wherever you listen to podcasts. We want to thank you for listening again. And for those joining live, as always, feel free to become a part of the show by typing in your questions or sharing information that you see wherever you're watching today. And today I am joined by Jenna Sackett. So we're excited to have Jenna on. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. Super excited to be talking about this topic. It's definitely an important one to start talking about in the new year so that we can talk about, all those markets that are coming up in the new season to be taking advantage of. So thanks again for having me. Super excited to be here.
Yeah. And for those just joining, our topic is apparel opportunities in gifting and awards. And so we have some ideas and some conversation around this topic, but we're going to encourage your participation as we discuss today. But before we get to all of that, I want to make sure we say hello to those that are watching live and also share a little bit of news that happened this week from Stahls, so you guys can get excited about a new product that we have. So I want to say what's up to Eric. Thanks for joining and watching us, Eric. Also, we have Shadow Valley Designs watching from Albuquerque, and McKinnon Printing has been waiting on YouTube for us to go live. Checked in super early. We appreciate that. Tiffany, thanks for watching over on YouTube. And everybody else watching, make sure you shout out who you are and where you're watching from, whether that's Trevor from Pennsylvania, and the list goes on and on. So there was a pretty big launch this week. And I have a photo that I'm going to share here. Let me share my screen for those that are actually able to watch live here. And pulling it up here, let me just grab the photo. This really cool product. So for those that are just listening, Jenna, what would you explain what we're looking at on the screen? Like, just explain the aesthetic without the name of the product.
Okay, so the aesthetic is definitely a textured product, which is my favorite part about the product because texture and dimension on apparel is completely thriving. Big buzzwords in the industry, being able to achieve anything that's a little bit higher perceived value, adds more pop to a design. And it also has not only texture, but a really cool iridescent finish that serves a lot of different markets in unique ways. So I don't know. Did I do it justice? I feel like I did, but I might be missing some things.
Yeah, I think you did. And I love to have that close-up picture because this is a product that we call Chroma Twill. And we really struggled to name this one because it's so unique in the apparel decoration finish that it offers. But it's an actual heat transfer vinyl. It can be cut on a vinyl cutter, or you can order it as a transfer, already cut, ready to heat apply. And the finished result that Jenna was just explaining looks like twill, but is actually achieved in the same process you would use for vinyl. And I love that because you can get more of that premium look and less of that, I guess, just stand out, something that's a little bit different than you're going to see every day from a basic finish. And that iridescent or that metallic that's also with it is why we call it Chroma Twill. It has this iridescent finish, and we love this product. And so this product is one that we've been developing now for several years. And we're excited to launch it to you. You can find it over on Stahls.com. It's under the heat transfer vinyl section, or where you upload your artwork. The color you just saw on screen for those watching was the jade color, but we carry this heat transfer vinyl product in 10 colors, everything from, golds to silvers to whites, to pinks. So there are a lot of different ways you can bring this product to life. And as we talk about our topic today, which is all about gifting and awards, I think part of gifting and part of awards is you want something that the person who receives it, in either case, says wow. And this is a product that definitely delivers that wow factor. So I think it's a timely launch. It's something I wanted to share with the audience before we dove into our topic. So you got a chance to work with the product, Jenna. Any tips or tricks from a cutting aspect or heat application aspect that you'd offer?
Honestly, whenever I first got to work with the product, I wondered how it would actually cut. Now I'm cutting using a Graphtec C7000. So it's a very nice vinyl cutter for cutting more dimensional product. And it cut with ease. There wasn't any like really damage or wear and tear on the blade with the product, which was another question I had about it. And then the weeding process really surprised me how easy it was to actually peel away that excess material to reveal the design. So honestly, 10 out of 10 for vinyl cutter production. I feel like it was just really easy to work with. Now, I didn't get into very like extreme detail. So I would say if you're getting like very fine vinyl cut designs, maybe that's an option for maybe doing custom, getting it as a transfer as opposed to having to weed it out. But I think it's a overall super easy product to work with. And at the heat press, it's a breeze too. So I really like the product. I'm super excited for everybody out there to get a chance to work with it now.
Okay, awesome. So that's CAD-CUT Chroma Twill. Just wanted to bring you that product launch news. It happened this week, and so it was timely to share, and it's timely for our topic, which is apparel opportunities in gifting and awards. And just to set the stage appropriately, one of the things we want to talk about is that if you're not participating in apparel decoration for these two similar but very unique opportunities, gifting and awards, there is potential there, especially with how products for heat transfer have evolved, and we'll go into the products a little bit later. But first, let's tee up the opportunity. So when we think of apparel opportunities in gifting, let's define gifting first. Do you have a succinct definition? I love throwing you on the spot and asking you for succinct definitions. What do you think about when we define gifting as a category?
Well, I think it depends. I think gifting can mean a lot of things for different markets. So, for example, whenever we're talking promotional products, I see this more in the format of kitting. Maybe it's customer gifting or customer acquisition, where you want to kit together products that you can print for your client. You want them to know you can do more for their branding opportunities. So, you're kitting together items for them to wear and showcase to their clients. So that's one way to do it. I think promotional products, we see this really as an uptick in that industry where people are using gifting as more of a kitting type of process just to show their customers that they can print unique finishes and print apparel that they wouldn't necessarily think to ask or order from their printer. In other cases where maybe it's more e-commerce, I will say gifting is continuing to trend there, but it really hasn't like reached its big mark. But I want to say, it's something to consider because we have a whole generation that's based off of experience. They want that experience whenever they open up a package from wherever they're ordering from. And a lot of times that's in the form of gifting or creating that gift experience. So it's really just a big, marketing thing that you can do that really sets your personal like printing brand up for success to set you apart from some of the competitors in your area.
Yeah, and before we define awards, let's just go deep on gifting. I think it's better to stay on one track, and then we'll move to the other one for the second half of the show. When we talk about gifting, you just heard a couple ideas from Jenna. One is kitting, and gifting is a big thing in small businesses and large businesses today, where we want to increase our employee engagement and focus on our employee morale and really improving the culture. And so we see gifting kind of flow out of the decision making of a human resources department as it results to corporations. And so I would say there's a big opportunity to do kitted gifts. And the definition of kitting is just combining multiple items together inside of that gift, much like when we gift for a birthday, right? Sometimes you have several items in the bag. This is just taking a corporate approach on that, which is gifting at scale. And so the idea that we can be producing many shirts, many travel cups, many hats, right, in creating unique and individualized boxes that are designed to go to each employee as part of holiday or as part of onboarding or anniversary. There are so many different occasions that we can think about for gifting when we think about it in the context of corporate America. And trust me, that human resources department and role, they are focused on not only finding new employees, but retaining their current employees. And so corporate gifting is this big category that we can be tapping into as apparel decorators. And so I think that is one I would definitely look towards. So before we move off of that, because I feel like it is such a big opportunity, if you are capitalizing on that opportunity, we'd love to hear your story. Comment live to us if you're watching us live on Facebook or YouTube or LinkedIn, and share with us some of the success, some of the products that you've included in your corporate gifting initiatives. Jenna, what sort of products do you see work? I know I mentioned a hat, a t-shirt, and a travel cup, as a kit, so to speak, but what decoration products really resonate with this audience?
I see a lot of folks utilizing Ultracolor Max just because of the no minimum. So you can do as small as one if you're just wanting to do it for one person, or as at that point any quantity that you want. But it's really being able to go as small as one and being able to produce an experience for someone economically, especially if you're spending a little extra on the blank. And because Ultracolor Max is so versatile and can go across all of these different substrates with ease, it's just putting you at a really good price point to be able to throw kits together for employee appreciation or customer acquisition. Outside of that is then taking that same logo that you're doing in Ultracolor Max and showing them, okay, yes, we can do this nice flat matte finish in your logo or brand. And then take it up another level and show maybe a printed twill, such as our perma twill or our texture twill, and then a level up from there, flex style or any of our other emblems and patches. But yeah, that's where I'm seeing a lot of that utilized for that type of gifting.
Yeah, I like that. And so those are some different product names, but really we have flat full color decoration that's very versatile with
Mhm.
Ultracolor Max. And then we also have like elevating a little bit and going into some category of a dimensional emblem or a patch, or even kind of bridging the two with a sublimated twill product. So certainly a lot of ways you can bring a corporate logo to life. What I love about the kitting aspect and doing business with corporations is typically you just have to nail the logo. You don't have to
Mhm.
get too crazy with design, although you can have a lot of fun there, I think, for different gifting occasions with like graphic tees to tie into the corporate logo. But if we just take that corporate logo and we take it across either multiple decoration treatments or even one decoration treatment across multiple products, a lot of value can be established with just varying the blank and keeping the same logo. So great. And so Eric has a whole host of ideas here. So I want to pull these up and read them for everybody. So Eric is doing decoration. We've actually had him on the show here a few weeks back. Certainly listen to that episode if you want to go back and listen to that. It's everywhere podcasts are offered. He says onboarding, employee recognition, sales competitions. I like that because that can actually start to bridge the award side of it as
Yeah, that's
well.
interesting.
Yeah, lots of corporate work in this section. We use online stores for the ordering process for these companies and their employees. We work with the company to put together swag packs and onboard packages, etc. So not only the product we're making, but the buying experience or how these corporations' employees are able to engage with the product is certainly something that can be considered. So we spent a lot of our show on corporate gifting. I want to make sure we get to a lot of other gift ideas because we have.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like there's so many different market verticals you can take with this route. But I would say that's just one that I've been having communication with clients.
Yeah. And so when I look out on the calendar, and I love to calendarize things, and so I would encourage you to do that for your business, is like take gifting and look at the 12 months of the year in addition to corporate gifting, which can happen on different occasions, not necessarily tied to a calendar. We start to look at other special occasions where gifting is big, especially in e-commerce. And I don't know about you, but Mother's Day, Father's Day, These are moments in time where I go online or I go to, my local small business and I search for something unique that can communicate the message. So when we think about those birthdays or Mother's Day, Father's Day, those sorts of occasions, I think there's a lot of opportunities there that people look over because there's typically a lot of pain associated when somebody walks into your business and say, can I get a birthday shirt or a retirement shirt or some gift for somebody, right? If you don't really pre-plan it and you're not set up to do it. But I think that if we think about those gifting occasions and putting together a program that sets some rules in place that allows us to achieve those at scale, procrastination is everywhere. And so we can really, there's no price I won't pay when the event's happening tomorrow and I need to fill a need to get a gift and I'm late, right? So what are some things you recommend we consider around those sort of individualized gifting holidays? How can we set up to be successful?
Well, I think you hit it right. It's definitely looking ahead on the calendar to see what you can plan for all of these different opportunities to hit some of these different demographics, right? So let's say right now, if I'm planning for what's upcoming, I'm probably already looking ahead to April or May for like wedding season. And planning like what I could probably be doing for bridal parties or bride and groom gifts or honeymoon packages. So it's really planning ahead and getting a clear, defined like goal in mind of what you want to offer, because you also want to be able to tailor your offering to whoever you're targeting. And so if you have a clear idea of who that client is, you can get packages put together that are going to resonate with who the buyer is. So weddings, I think, they kind of hit two different areas of the year, right? There's spring and fall. So now would be a good time to start planning for that. And then you can revisit that the second half of the year and see what worked well in the spring or what didn't work well and swap it out for something else in the fall. But definitely a lot of pre-planning, getting ahead of the game and making sure you're marketing it in enough time, getting it out on your social media or whatever platform that you are promoting those gifts or packages on, and just really staying ahead of the game. I will say too, just as like resources to know what to offer, the Knot always does a really great like updated article every year to let you know like what people are looking for and what sells really well.
That's good. And I think the advantage here on some of these is there's going to be lots of small orders. And so going pretty narrow on focus, like, hey, I want to set up and I want to do bridal parties, gifts, right? Or I want to do Mother's Day and Father's Day gifts or birthday gifts, and then creating some sort of standardized offer that you can go out and really capture that business at scale through e-commerce. Those are things that are probably going to be tough to really win at in just a localized region. But if I say this is something I want to specialize in and build it out at scale with the solution, through third-party marketplaces like Etsy or through ad campaigns, whether that's paid campaigns on Facebook or Google, where people are searching for gifts. I think those are opportunities to win. And I think people can win now because with being able to order some of this product in single piece quantities, or being able to take a product like a special effect heat transfer vinyl and cut something that on demand that looks really high end, that allows you to do personalization, whether that's across a sash or a quantity of 4 or 8 bridal party tees. Like, these are areas that you can get lots of small quantity orders and really set up what I would call a mass customization business in the verticals. And typically that's how people win. If you're reactionary and it's like, hey, somebody came in for a birthday shirt, let's figure out how to solve it, you're probably not going to make a lot of money on that deal until you standardize something.
I will say too, just being able to offer something that is a must-have product that maybe someone else isn't offering. And I see this happening very easily with our emblems and patches, like Flex Style Signature, for example. I can see that in a gold metallic and just having in bulk Miss or Mr., and then personalizing with heat transfer vinyl. So you can offer that personalization as that add-on, but keep that next level product in stock if that's the target that you're after, and utilize that to your benefit.
Yeah. I read an article that the same marketing mastermind, and I'm not going to remember his name, unfortunately, but maybe somebody can help me in the comments, that like made the popularity of Crocs surge again. But by like his marketing plan is also the same guy that's behind the Stanley Cups, right? You know what I'm
Really?
talking about? Yeah. And if
Yep.
you know, like the Stanley, not the Stanley Cup like in hockey, but the drinkware, the Stanley brand is so much in high demand. Like, to your point, let's take a product that's in high demand and let's figure out how to add very simple personalization on it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of profit opportunity if we can attach and source a high-end product like that, and perhaps even take a stock position, because right now it's kind of like Richardson 112 caps at the height of the pandemic. You just can't get them. So companies that stocked up in basic styles, they were able to win just on having supply and being able to grow that way. So that's an interesting strategy. So I brainstormed a couple other things for gifting, but we're going to move to awards here quickly. So just rattling off some opportunities for people. We talked about weddings, talked about special occasions like birthdays, Mother's Day, Father's Day, the gift-giving holidays like Christmas, of course, coming up. Graduation, I think, is another one that people can be thinking about. Year-end school events, not just graduation. Teacher appreciation is another big opportunity that people shop for and people can win at. Those are just some ideas. So if you have some ideas around gifting and good gift giving holidays or occasions, feel free to chat that in. We're going to switch over to awards here in a second, but I want to say hi to a couple people. Andy, thanks for watching us on LinkedIn, our friends over at Target Transfers in the UK. We always appreciate you joining us. That is a Stahls company. So if you're over in Europe, check out Target Transfers. They have lots of great products and great service. We have Kelly watching from Denver. Just had a guest in yesterday from Denver here into Pennsylvania from Printing United, which was really cool. And we have Louisville. And yeah, end of season sports awards go down well. So let's transition a little bit to awards. So we have gifting, and similar but different is this opportunity of decorated apparel and decorated products for awards. What are some of the top opportunities you see out there when we think about awards?
So I think of tournaments and being, they're trophy and award stuff where we're typically seeing like engraved items. Dance competitions are right around the corner. Cheerleading competitions, the big one is just in a month or so. So anything sports related that ends in spring is definitely something to be on your radar. And then, of course, those year-end banquets, right? So that's a big one that I think of because that's whenever the whole team is getting a gift or they're handing out personalized awards for, team player of the year or most improved of the year and stuff like that. So there's a lot of opportunity to be had there, but it's definitely sports related. So if you're already in with those schools or clubs, definitely start that conversation now, even if it's with the parents, right? They're usually the ones planning that event. So keep that in mind, get that conversation going because there's a lot of not just in decorated apparel, but in hard goods too.
Yeah, and like I think of when something's happened, like a championship just happened. There's the immediate award, right? That sometimes gets awarded literally on the court or on the stage
Mm-hmm.
or after the event. And then there's well beyond the team, the community who usually wants to support the team, especially when it comes to high school athletics, because somebody just won the section or somebody just won the playoffs or whatever it may be. And so this hot market that happens after the event or in preparation for the big game after we've qualified for it, I think is a huge opportunity. And sometimes we think of awards just as the trophy, right? That's a way to definitely commemorate the achievement. But how can we drive more apparel items into awards? And I think that, like in dance competitions where I spend the majority of my weekends this time of year, we see like the coveted hooded sweatshirt that goes to the title winner, right? So there are lots of trophies, yes, and lots of plaques, but we're seeing apparel integrate as an award, something that can be worn out and doesn't sit on a shelf. And I think there's a huge case for that, because typically kids or adults are somewhat proud of their achievements, right? And so being able to celebrate that with something that they can actually wear out when it comes to apparel, I think can be super compelling, or something they can put on a shelf in the form of like a higher piece of headwear, or something that sits on the shelf could also be pretty cool.
Yeah. And depending on the championship, I've seen people even go as extensive as Letterman's, personalized and or custom embroidered and then personalized on the left chest, because you don't know the winner right away.
Yeah.
But we actually received one of those whenever we won nationals. So I still have it. I keep it. I don't wear it, but it's just one of those things that was like, in the sense of sustainability, I wanted to hold on to and keep, because it was more of a I don't know, just an item that you want to hold on to. It just speaks.
I feel like you really missed an opportunity to wear it on this show. It's a shame we didn't pre-plan that. You could have brought that thing out of the closet.
Absolutely not.
Pulled it off of the wall. You probably have it in like a, what do they call it, a shadow box or whatever, hanging on the wall in the living room, right?
Oh yeah, right in the living room for everyone to see. Never forget.
Good. Jane has a couple ideas, so I want to pop those here. Thanks for watching, Jane. So senior sports gifts, great opportunity. Coaches gifts, another great opportunity. And she had actually just completed 50 shirts with Ultra Color Max transfer for a championship shirt. So plenty of opportunities out there for awards. One that I think is pretty cool, and it's a big market vertical, is golf tournaments or charity events or golf scrambles. And so you got to start planning now if you're going to be in this market in the summer. I mean, people they might be golfing in some parts of the country right now. At least here, we had a nice day yesterday, so everybody ran out and golfed. But you start to see those events throughout the summer, and putting yourself in a position to not only do the charity shirts or the golf towels that everybody gets at the tournament, but also do some of those higher end awards that get awarded after the tournament. I think that's a huge opportunity to not only get the revenue from that, but get awareness from, sometimes hundreds of people that are sitting there as those are being presented at the end. So think of awards as a great marketing opportunity for your business as well, even if you donate some stuff, custom stuff.
There's so many cool items that you can print for golf. I just scrolled through Sanmar's newly released items the other day, and there was just a lot of Travis Matthew, Ogio did a bunch of really nice golf stuff. So there's a lot of idea out there. If you guys visit Sanmar, there's just a lot of opportunity, and I'm sure it'll inspire you with different things that you can print on those for those tournaments.
And that's important too, because you just highlighted a couple brands that are known, I would say nearly universally in golf and highly valued. Like you walk into a Dick's Sporting Goods, the Travis Matthew rack is one of the highest price pieces and most coveted pieces, in the golf section at probably your sporting goods retail store. And so now if I can bring that brand and offer that, through sourcing it through a Sanmar, there's a ton of opportunity there. And I know that, tapping into those brands and making sure you connect that brand to the market, like let's go with a champion hoodie for a high school banquet, right? For seniors or something that's valued by, let's just say the basketball or the football team. And let's tap into the Travis Matthews for that. If it's an outdoor event, let's tap into North Face. You can tap into a lot of these brands from your blank apparel wholesaler, whether that is Sanmar, S&S Activewear. Help me out. What are some other ones you would encourage people to look at?
So I feel like for distributors, those are two really great ones. Alpha Broder is another good one. They offer some more unique brands, especially for more retail. But between the three of those, I feel like those are the powerhouse distributors of the industry. They have all the really well-known brands. So if you're already working with any of those three, you're already ahead of the game. Definitely what you mentioned with Champion, and I don't know if you mentioned Columbia or Adidas yet, but also North Face. So a lot of really cool brands you can be working with that are already well known in retail. So people will be more apt to wanting to get their stuff branded on those apparel pieces. Additionally, outside of just blank apparel, I have to tip my hat to Hotronics because I feel like this gets overlooked a little bit, is the sports ball press for awards and personalizing the sports ball, like a football, basketball, whatever it may be, with the team name or whatever it may be that they're winning. I think that is an award item that we could easily be offering that's so unique and so different from your typical award products.
Yeah, if you walk into any high school, usually they have some sort of display near their gymnasium or their field or their practice facility. And almost always in that display are photos of championship teams, a piece of the net or a football or whatever. But then you'll see those trophy presentations. It's a sports ball that has the white area that posts the record or the roster or something like that. And decorators don't realize they could do that. Right.
Yep.
And sometimes that gives you a foot in the door with the high school because you're offering something unique. And now let's talk about the team uniforms, the spirit wear. Let's expand the conversation. So these awards are a great way. I say it's an underserved market when it comes to the apparel side or the sports balls, et cetera, that people could get into. And so I have to post up a couple comments here. So folks from McKinnon Printing said doing golf shirts for a tournament tomorrow, and they're asking for other swag. And there are more than one type of golf, not only miniature golf, but disc golf. And so we know Trevor specializes in disc golf as a market vertical. So thanks for watching, Trevor. Player packs right now, he's doing 154 that have a t-shirt and a towel pack with stickers. And he's going to do trophies on wooden plaques, wait for it, with Ultracolor Max heat transfers pressed onto those. Just like we saw around Christmas for gift giving, tying it back on wooden ornaments. So flex style, pressure sensitive for tumblers. So plenty of opportunity there. And then just a request from our team to list some of the distributors we mentioned for apparel in the comments. That we got some help in the background here so we don't have to type and talk at the same time. It's kind of tough. So let's open it up a little bit. We're nearing the end of our show. We have about 5 to 8 minutes left. If you have questions on gifting, on awards, on apparel decoration in general, with the heat press, Jenna and I are live here, or if you're listening to recording, you could always join us live on Facebook, on YouTube, on LinkedIn. We welcome your questions now before we conclude today's show. So got a good question here from Maria. What product do you use on basketballs, footballs, etc.? Do you know off the top of your head? If not, I have a couple ideas.
Sport Film Light, if you're looking for a single color, and then I'm trying to remember the full color HTV. Is it
Super Tech?
Super Tech, okay.
Super Tech Opaque, yes. Yeah, so we have both are vinyl products. One is a single color. You just cut it, weed it, and heat apply it if you just want to do some basic, single color text. The other one is print cut that you can buy as a CAD prints transfer. We make it for you. Or you can buy a roll if you own a solvent or an eco-solvent printer like a Roland VersaCam or a Mamaki. And you can, put full color graphics even on sports balls. I wouldn't really recommend them for game use, mainly for the awards and gifting opportunities that we were talking about here.
Sounds like we need to test out direct to film on that.
Yeah, I have my doubts, but we should test it. And the only reason I have my doubts is because I did test the direct to film transfers on like a very soft leather. It was like a glove for an opportunity. I think sports balls would react similarly. And based on the way we have to coat the film to make the direct to film transfer, some of that stayed behind as an impression.
Gotcha.
On the sports ball. So the Mylar carrier wasn't as easy as vinyl where you can like tack it and peel it off. It kind of left the coating behind on the product. So you could see the
from
impression
the square of the carrier.
From the square of the carrier, absolutely.
So if they cut close to the edge, maybe there's a workaround there somewhere.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that too many times, but I guess so. All right. So, and Maria, they are applied, those products that we talked about are heat transfers that are applied with a heat press, and we sell a sports ball press that's available over at Stahls.com or transferexpress.com that is capable of doing inflatable sports balls, which would be basketballs, volleyballs, footballs, and I'm sure there's more, soccer, to name a handful. All right. We have a couple questions, so a little off topic, but Kelly asked, can you do the 3D embroidered patches in more than one letter, like 2 to 3 letters? And so the answer is yes, but they won't come pre-aligned. So when you're ordering our 3D embroidered patches, we actually use like a twill material to back that. And so if you were doing like a script and everything was connected as one piece, it would come as one piece. But if it's independent characters with space in between those characters, they would basically come as 3 separate pieces that you would have to manually align, or our team more than likely would probably encourage you to do a common backing across those, whether it's a rectangle or, some connection around the letters. So yes, it can be done, but a couple things to consider there. Eric says Ultra Color Max sticks to hockey pucks as well. They work as gifts, but wouldn't use them in play. So not much it doesn't stick to. Yeah. And I love, we have a great group in our Heat Press for Profit Facebook group for those that aren't there, including Eric and many others that are stretching the limits of the products constantly.
So creative. So many ideas in that group. Sometimes I go in there for inspiration for a YouTube video. So thank you guys.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, lots of cool stuff. They're already using the chroma twill material in ways I never even thought of, which is awesome to see. And then Kelly followed up with, great, I have the new 360 IQ press, looking for some schools. So the 3D embroidery, I think the only product that's dimensional that you can do independent free-floating characters with that comes pre-aligned is Flex Style. Everything else, whether it's PVC patches, 3D embroidered patches, or leather, either needs to be connected or would come separate. And so if you want to show something that's the easiest, that has individualized free-floating text or elements that comes pre-aligned, go with the Flex Style. And I think people will love it. You can order the domed Flex Style, not quite as much lift as the 3D embroidery, but has a pretty nice rounded corners and lift to it that most clients, I believe, would like a lot. Okay.
Or even if you're looking for an embroidered look, and that's the solution that you need to provide, Sim Stitch is a good option. Also at a decent price point as well. And that'll come pre-aligned too. Now, it's not going to give you the actual thread. It's a twill that's laser etched on the edge to simulate like a zigzag stitch. So it seems as though it's embroidered, but it will come pre-spaced for you.
Great. Okay, so we are at the conclusion of our show. So today we are able, hopefully, to inspire you with some new opportunities in gifting and awards, answer some of your questions. For those that have watched live, we want to thank you for joining our Heat Press for Profit live. That's the goal, that you all would watch live after listening to it, so you can ask your questions and hang out with us. And for those that listened, make sure that you subscribe so you can stay up to date on this. We do a new broadcast every single Friday. They go live at noon Eastern time. All right. Or you can join us and hang out with us. So thanks so much for watching. Jenna, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me. It was great.
Yeah, great. We'll catch up with everybody next week. Take care.